Today,
You've
I
got
want to
this.
speak to you on a topic that is as timeless as human existence itself. When life hurts, stop clinging to it. This isn't about ending life, but rather about living it in a more profound and meaningful way. Our guide for today's journey into the depths of the human mind is the ancient Stoic philosophy. Stoicism, an ancient Greek school of thought, offers us an insightful approach to life, especially when it comes to dealing with pain and suffering. The Stoics believed in a simple principle. Some things are within our control and others are not. It's a starkly simple concept, but like a seed planted in fertile soil, it grows into a profound tree of wisdom when nurtured by reflection and understanding. So let's explore this together, shall we? Life can hurt. It's a fact we all acknowledge but often struggle to accept. We have all experienced pain, loss, and adversity. And it's natural to recoil from these experiences, to resist them, to cling desperately to how things were or how we want them to be. But the Stoics offer a different perspective. They suggest that we should let go, stop clinging, and accept life as it is, not as we wish it to be. I can almost hear the question forming in your mind. Why should I accept pain? Why should I embrace suffering? Well, let me clarify something. Stoicism doesn't ask you to enjoy suffering or seek it out. Rather, it invites you to change your relationship with suffering, to change the lens through which you view your pain. So, let's take a look through this Stoic lens together. You see, we often imagine life as a calm, serene river. When it suddenly turns into a turbulent and stormy sea, we feel betrayed, lost. But the Stoics suggest that life is not a calm river, it's an ever-changing ocean. It can be calm one moment and stormy the next. That's its nature. Accepting this truth is the first step towards Stoic wisdom. Now, how do we apply this wisdom when life hurts? The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When we are faced with pain or adversity, we have two options. We can resist, deny, or flee from it, or we can accept it, face it, and learn from it. As we journey through the tempestuous seas of life, we encounter two fundamental choices in navigating the stormy waters of pain and suffering. These options are akin to two different trees reacting to the violent gusts of the wind. One resists, the other bends. One breaks, the other grows. The first option might initially seem the most appealing, the most instinctual. It's the path of resistance. After all, who willingly walks into the arms of pain? It's a path of visceral, raw, and human reactions. Fight, flight, and freeze. But the long-term cost of this path is steep, more so than we often realize. In resistance, we breed tension. It is the tension of a tightly clenched fist, an embodiment of a refusal to accept the current state of things. Our mind becomes a battlefield where we wage war against reality, a war we are bound to lose. For reality is immutable, an immovable mountain against our futile attempts to push it away. This tension, this struggle against what is, makes us brittle, like a tree that attempts to withstand the gale-force winds. In denial, we cultivate ignorance. It is the ignorance of the ostrich burying its head in the sand, hoping to escape danger by not seeing it. But ignoring the storm doesn't stop the rain. Denying pain does not dissolve it. Rather, it merely shrouds our world in a fog of illusion, impairing our vision, leading us farther from the path of truth and understanding. In flight, we only postpone the inevitable confrontation. It's the delaying tactic of a weary soldier, retreating from battle only to face a stronger enemy later. By fleeing from our pain, we merely grant it power over our future, letting it lurk in the shadows of our tomorrows. We become like a tree uprooting itself to escape the wind, only to be exposed to harsher elements. On the other hand, the second option is one of growth. It's the path less traveled, the road that requires a strength of character, the strength of a tree that bends with the wind, that uses the force of the gale to grow stronger, more resilient. When we choose acceptance, we choose to face our pain. We don't merely glance at it, but stare it down, understanding its causes and effects, its roots and branches. This understanding doesn't magically dissolve our pain, but it grants us the power to change our circumstances or our reactions to them. It transforms our wounds into wisdom, our suffering into a source of strength, our ordeals into opportunities for growth. Acceptance is not the same as resignation. It isn't about waving a white flag or conceding defeat. It's about embracing the raw, unfiltered reality as it is, without the veneer of illusion or the shackles of denial. It's about acknowledging that life can and will hurt, and in that acknowledgement, we liberate ourselves from the crippling fear of pain. When we accept, we become capable of facing our challenges with courage, clarity, and wisdom. Our hearts may still pound in the face of adversity, but they beat with the rhythm of understanding, not fear. This acceptance, this willingness to bend with the wind of life's trials, is the core of Stoic resilience. This is not a path of passivity, but of profound activity. It requires an active engagement with our inner world, a relentless pursuit of self-understanding. It's about reclaiming our power from the external circumstances that seem to control us and instead finding the control within ourselves. It's about understanding that the winds of life can either break us or make us, depending on how we choose to stand. Yet we must be careful not to misunderstand this teaching. Stoicism is not about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent to pain. It's about understanding our emotions, not being ruled by them. It's about recognizing that pain and pleasure, joy and sorrow are all part of the human experience. They are not to be feared or avoided, but accepted and understood. In the grand scheme of life, we are but brief flickers of consciousness in an infinite universe. We did not choose to be born, and we cannot choose not to die. But we can choose how we live in between. We can choose to cling to life, to resist change, to fear pain, or we can choose to embrace life, to accept change, to understand pain. When life hurts, we often ask, why me? But the Stoics would suggest a different question. Why not me? Pain and suffering are not personal affronts, but universal experiences. They are not punishments, but opportunities for growth and wisdom. So when life hurts, stop clinging to it. Embrace it. Accept it. Learn from it. Remember, you are not a passive victim of life, but an active participant in it. You have the power to choose your response, to shape your perspective, to cultivate your wisdom. Life can hurt, but it can also heal. It can break us, but it can also make us. It all depends on how we choose to engage with it. In the words of the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, the obstacle is the way. The challenges we face are not barriers to our journey, but the path itself. They are not detours, but destinations. They are not the end, but the beginning. So take heart, my friend. You are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you know. And you are not alone. We are all traveling this road together, each with our own wounds and wisdom, each with our own pain and potential. Let's embrace the journey, with all its ups and downs, all its joys and sorrows, all its triumphs and trials. Let's stop clinging to life and start living it, in all its messy, beautiful, painful, and profound glory. Remember, the storm does not last forever. The sun will rise again, and when it does, you will not be the same person who walked into the storm. You will be stronger, wiser, and more resilient. You will have learned the lesson that only the storm could teach, that when life hurts, the only way out is through. So, take a deep breath, my friend. You are not just surviving, you are thriving. You are not just enduring, you are evolving. You are not just facing the storm, you are becoming the storm. And that's the beautiful paradox of life. When it hurts, it heals. When it breaks, it makes. When it ends, it begins. And so the journey continues. But remember, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about understanding it. It's not about clinging to life. It's about living it. So live, learn, grow. And remember, when life hurts, stop clinging to it. Embrace it. Accept it. Understand it. And then let it go. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, remember to live wisely, love deeply, and learn constantly. And no matter what life throws at you, remember, you are not just a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in a drop. Now go forth and live your Stoic life. Let your pain be your teacher, your trials, your tests, and your suffering your story. Because in the end, it's not what happens to you that defines you, but how you respond to it. Stay strong, stay wise, stay stoic. You've got this.